Hello YouTube, this is Alethea Thomas. Thanks for coming to my channel. If you haven't been here before, this channel is all about books, bookish content, bookish things, everything about books. Books all the time. So if you're interested in books at all, you are in the right place. I am very interested right now in just doing a couple of really fun things for the month of July because these things really interested me last year when I saw them. And one of them is called Summerween, and then the other one is called Jane Austen July. So I thought these were really cool little events, just bookish events, that I wanted to join into this year for sure. Unfortunately, they both occur in the month of July. And so I was like, I can't just choose one from the other. I really want to do both. So we're going to do a little bit of a mashup, kinda, this time. I don't know. Maybe this will go well. Maybe this won't go well. I have no idea. But the good news is that Jane Austen July is like the whole month of July. And then Summerween is just a week out of the month of July. So I think it's doable. I don't know. Let me know if you all think I'm nuts for doing it like this, but this is what I want to do, and so I'm doing it. So I guess that I will go over Jane Austen July first and what my picks are for that. And then we'll talk about Summerween and my picks for that. And then I suppose we'll talk about if any of this kind of corresponds or overlaps or, kind of works together in a way. Because I think I've figured it out how I can do this without being completely and totally overwhelmed by both events. Let's talk about Jane Austen July. So for Jane Austen July, the rules for the event are pretty straightforward. You're participating in the event if you at least fulfill the first requirement, which is read one of Jane Austen's main 6 novels. So Jane Austen's main 6 canon are Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Emma, Persuasion, Mansfield Park, and Northanger Abbey. So that is all 6 of those books. So if you read one of those 6 books, you are participating in Jane Austen July. I decided I really wanted to read Pride and Prejudice again. I haven't read it in years. It's been since high school. I think I read Pride and Prejudice. I read Pride and Prejudice and Emma both in high school, but I think I read Emma a little bit later in high school. And I really loved Emma. And there's kind of this dispute between whether at least in my mind, whether Pride and Prejudice or Emma is the superior book. So I'd like to go back to Pride and Prejudice again and reread it and see what I think. And then I think later this year I will go ahead and go back and read Emma again. So I want to see how those two compare now that I am an adult. The rest that I'm going to list off here are just kind of challenges for the month, and you can or cannot do them if you'd like to. They're really interesting, and I think I'm going to do, or at least I'm going to try to do most of them. The second challenge is read something by Jane Austen that is not one of her main 6 novels. So I think I'm going to try to read Lady Susan. I haven't read Lady Susan, but I saw the movie Love and Friendship, which is based on Lady Susan, and I think I'd really enjoy that. Lady Susan is apparently a story about a mother and a daughter, and the daughter trying to be, wedded off to somebody like these things go, and the mother being kind of jealous of her daughter's youth and beauty and ability to wed and all of that, and Lady Susan doing this one-upsmanship the whole time to her daughter, which was kind of humorous. So that relationship seems like a pretty interesting thing, and I did enjoy Love and Friendship, so I'm looking forward to reading Lady Susan. I think it would be really good. The third challenge is to read a nonfiction work about Jane Austen or her time. So I really want to read Lucy Worsley's Jane Austen at Home. I think it would be a really good book. I watched a documentary on PBS that Lucy Worsley did on Jane Austen, and I have a feeling that this book is what that particular documentary was based off of. So I will be familiar with it, and it just seems like a really, really good book to read, and I love Lucy Worsley. Who doesn't love her? The fourth challenge is read a retelling of a Jane Austen book or a work of historical fiction set in Jane Austen's time. I think I'm going to have the most trouble with this one because I don't know of very many Jane Austen retellings that I actually want to read. I tend to not like retellings because they don't seem like they're very good. I've had a bad time with retellings, but I might actually read a historical fiction set in Jane Austen's time. I think that might be a little bit easier to find. So we'll see what that. I'm undecided right now as to which book I want to read for that. Same with challenge number 5. Read a book by a contemporary of Jane Austen between 1775 and 1817. There are a few women writers that fit into this category that I am interested in potentially reading. I think that Susan Ferrier might be a good choice. Elizabeth Hamilton, Mary Brunton, or Catherine Sinclair. Those 4 women writers would be great to pick from. I'm not sure which book yet, though. I think that Susan Ferrier wrote Marriage, if I'm not mistaken. Marriage, a novel. And that particular book is kind of drawing me more than the other authors right now. So we'll see. I may pick this one up and read it. I think it really depends on how long it is because I have so much going on in this month. But I think that I will get it figured out and pick a potentially good book. And when I do my TBR video for in the next week or so, I'll probably have it solidified as to exactly what I'm going to be reading. So the 6th challenge is watch a direct screen adaptation of a Jane Austen book. So I'm probably going to watch the 2016 version of Pride and Prejudice again, just because it's so good, and just because every time I have seen it, I have just adored and loved it, and loved all of the characters, and loved the actors that portray the characters. It's such a good movie. The soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal, and it's acted so well. It's such a beautiful, beautiful movie, and I can't wait for that. The 7th challenge is to watch a modern screen retelling of a Jane Austen book. Now, this one might be a bit of a challenge for me because I don't remember. I think that there was a contemporary version of Emma that I liked. I don't remember exactly. So I'm going to have to really search to see what contemporary retelling I would actually be interested in watching. So we'll see where that gets me. So that's Jane Austen July in a nutshell. I'm kind of sorry that I don't really have that 100% solidified. Also, by the way, Jane Austen July was started by Katie Lumsden, and she runs the YouTube channel Books and Things. Also, our Claudia over at Spinster's Library. And also Marissa from Blatantly Bookish. All of them you can find on YouTube. I will put their links in this description below, just in case you are interested in going and checking it out. They came up with Jane Austen July. They came up with the challenges and the tags. So if you're at all interested, go ahead and hit that up. There is also a Goodreads group if you're interested in joining. I'll also put the link to that in the description. So I hope you guys enjoy Jane Austen July. I think that would be really cool. Let me know if you're going to do Jane Austen July. I'm really excited to do it too. So now let's talk about Summerween. Summerween is a celebration of Halloween during the month of July. So there's a week that is picked, and you celebrate all things Halloween during this time. Well, this has turned into a Booktube phenomenon. And it's all about reading spooky books, thrillers, reading things at night, all kinds of things associated with Halloween and books during this week. So the idea is that you read that sort of material during the week. So this year, Summerween runs from Friday the 7th to Thursday the 13th. So it's really coming up soon if you want to participate in this. It is hosted by Elizabeth Ray. And actually it's through thestorygraph.com. I will also link that in the description below if you are interested at all in Summerween. The idea is that you kind of complete these different challenges, and they're really not difficult challenges, which is what I like, because it is just a week. So there are 5 little challenges, and really if you just do maybe 1 or 2 of the challenges, you are participating in Summerween. I think that this week I will try and film my entire week during Summerween. I hope I can do it in the whole week. I hope I can be able to film, but we will see how that will go. It's right after the July 4th holiday here in the States, so it may or may not be difficult for me. I just don't know. We will see. So anyway, here are the Summerween challenges for 2023. The first one is to read a book in the dark or at night. So I think that's pretty simple. I can't wait to do that. It should be really fun. The second one is to read a thriller. Now, I am kind of torn on this one because I would like to read The Paris Apartment. I would also like to read The Chateau. I think both of those would be really cool thrillers to read. But I also have Where the Crawdads Sing. And I'm thinking maybe this will fulfill not only read a thriller, but it will also fulfill the number 4 challenge, which is to read a book with the orange and black on the cover. I could do that for that one, and it would like kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That would be cool. Also, the number 3 challenge is a book that takes place in the fall. And I really would like to read either Shadow of Night, which apparently takes place in the fall, or If We Were Villains. Now, if I read If We Were Villains, that would also fulfill the either orange and black on the cover, or orange or black on the cover, excuse me. So, killing 2 birds with 1 stone there either way. I haven't 100% decided yet on that, but I gotta decide soon. And then the 5th challenge is to read a manga, graphic novel, or novella. And I was thinking I could read either The Girl from the Other Side, which I think would probably be pretty spooky and Halloween themed, but I'm also really interested in the manga Villains Are Destined to Die. I think that one looks like a really cool book. And I like the art style that I see on the cover. Sometimes the cover art is not as good as the interior art in my experience, but we'll see. But either one of those could be really good for that. Okay, so I think that's it as far as what I'm going to be reading for both Jane Austen July and for Summerween. I hope that you are going to participate and have a great time with these 2 different events in the month of July. I think it's going to be fabulous. I think the only challenge really that I'm going to have is just really finalizing exactly what I'm going to read. And also, I don't really have a... Sorry, the dog just picked up his ball. Now he's got it. Anyway, I don't actually have very many of my books in physical formats, so I'm probably going to end up reading most of them on Kindle and maybe listening to some, but I do have Where the Crawdads Sing, and I also have this big collection of Austen, and I believe that Lady Susan is in this one because it has 7 novels, so it has the core 6 and it has Lady Susan. That's wonderful. So I'll be reading Pride and Prejudice and Lady Susan out of this. I may listen and read because it's pretty quick for me that way. We'll see. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video now. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'm growing here, and I would appreciate anybody liking and subscribing. And I think that's all for now. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.